Now, scores of Nigerians in South Africa took to the streets of Pretoria at the Nigerian High Commission in solidarity with their countrymen who have been protesting in Lagos for 2 weeks now over the excessive force and abuse by the Special Armed Robbery Squad. In the latest incident, live rounds were allegedly used as the protests reached their peak at the Lekki Tollgate Plaza in Lagos, causing worldwide outrage. For an update on this, I'm joined now by broadcast journalist Itodo Abbah, who is in Nigeria. Itodo, good evening, and thank you very much for joining us on the news feed late night. Now, last night we were reporting that there was, of course, these peaceful protests that were continuing in Nigeria, people defying the curfew, but peacefully singing their songs and peacefully chanting end of SARS or normal SARS. What actually happened? What changed in the dynamic that caused the kind of scenes and the brutal and the maiming and the mutilation of people that we saw thereafter?
Now, it's a very difficult day for Nigerians here and around the world as well. What started off as a very peaceful protest 2 weeks ago turned out to be a nightmare, and what, a scene you would see in a horror movie. It's a really difficult time. As of yesterday, 12 p.m., the government of Lagos State announced a curfew starting at 4 p.m., thus giving citizens and residents of the state 4 hours to get back to their apartments or places where they stay, because the curfew was set to kick off at 4 p.m. Now, seeing that there were protests around the state, those who were at various locations thought best to just stay where they were, because it would have been difficult for them to go back to their locations. And specifically those at the Lekki Tollgate, thought to just stay there, and reports came eventually that the cameras were being cut off, the lights went off when it went dark, and in a few hours after that happened, some military men, allegedly military men in camouflage uniforms, came around and opened fire on peaceful protesters who were said to be sitting on the floor waving the flag and also singing the national anthem. Now, it's difficult to understand what really went wrong, but a live feed from a protester who was there, a celebrity DJ Switch, gave us an insight as to what was going on there, seeing that people were being shut down, they were trying to save as much as they could, and ambulances were not even allowed to come rescue or save or give treatment to those who were hit by bullets at the time.
Yeah. Amnesty International has come out to say they have clear evidence of the security forces being involved in this shooting. However, of course, the Nigerian government saying they have ordered an investigation. Who fired the shots?
There's no idea, there's no telling who, because the military came out to say via Twitter, their Twitter handle actually, that they are not responsible and that it's fake news. For every news bulletin that came out today, they put out a post saying it was all fake news. So it's hard to tell who indeed was responsible. The Lagos State government also put out a statement earlier in the day stating that they didn't have any control as to what happened. So there's no telling who exactly is responsible for the shooting of unarmed protesters in Lagos.
Yeah. So what is the official line from the state then around the shooting?
According to the state government, it said that it was a way to quell the protesters, but seeing that these protesters were said to be unarmed and that hoodlums also tried to take advantage of the protests to vandalize and cause havoc, there's no telling. It's difficult to know who exactly is responsible, seeing that the men who were said to have opened fire were actually wearing military uniforms, and lots of videos and content have been making the rounds on social media, specifically stating who exactly is responsible, even though those who were pointed at are saying they're not responsible and it's all fake news.
Yeah. How many fatalities are we talking about, and how many have been injured?
Well, the Lagos State government only mentioned one, saying a lot of people were injured, not giving specific numbers, but saying only one person lost their life. However, via the live feed that was shared at the protest, reports have it that about 70 people were said to have been injured or lost their life. There's no specific record being given right now, but we'll keep watching and seeing what numbers come up eventually, but we see on socials via unverified content and reports that various bodies litter the streets, and it's just it's a heartbreaking situation here in Nigeria, and of course in Lagos as well.
Now, with all these videos that are doing the rounds on social media, are you saying the authorities are refusing to accept those videos as credible evidence?
Exactly, yes. As Nigerians are also hoping and waiting on the president of Nigeria to address them, and so they can get to know what he really has planned out and how investigations will go. But that's yet to happen. So we're literally waiting to hear from the federal government as to what exactly will be done, seeing that lots of innocent lives were lost. And even after the time when gunfire was opened on unarmed protesters in Lagos, the morning after, which is this morning, a couple of hours ago, you could still hear gunshots on the streets of Lagos as vandalism was ongoing, properties were being burnt down, and even during a live telecast via a media house, they were ambushed by hoodlums, and the building was set on fire. They had to be taken to rescue by locals. They recognized them and knew that they meant no harm. So it's a really sad situation going on here in Nigeria, and we hope that this is sorted out as soon as possible. The protesters only wanted one thing, and that was police reforms and better governance, and things literally deteriorated to the way they are right now. So we all, the citizens of Nigeria and residents here, all want answers as to what the government plans and how they plan to handle the situation right now.
Yeah. The protesters were calling for the scrapping of the anti-robbery squad. What are the people feeling on the ground right now? Has the army replaced the anti-robbery squad?
No, it's called SARS here, and they were said to have been disbanded and replaced by a SWAT team, which would undergo training and psychological tests and all of that. So the army wasn't or isn't meant to replace them. There was another unit that was created, but then citizens say that they wanted no replacement whatsoever, and they only wanted a total police reform. So the army can't be said to have replaced the SARS team, which was disbanded.
Itodo, I appreciate your time and thank you for joining us. Journalist in Nigeria, Itodo Abbah, there, giving us an update on what's happening on the ground.